The UN Refugee Agency called it the worst Mediterranean tragedy so far this year. Around 150 African refugees and migrants perished off the Libyan coast on Thursday in their desperate attempt to reach Europe at any cost. The survivors are shaken and in a desperate predicament, still stuck in a dangerous and conflict-haunted country. There were 300 of us in the boat, and then water came in. 100 people were rescued, but the rest all died. The women, children and girls all died. Glory to God, we started swimming for almost 7 hours, and then we were rescued by fishermen, almost 100 people. We have been here for 2 days, and no one has come to get us. There has been a dead body here with us for the past 2 days. Glory to God, it is like we were fighting death in the sea, and now we are fighting death on the ground. The UN Refugee Agency says it's now concerned that the survivors could be taken to detention centres in Libya where there's insufficient food and water and insanitary conditions. And it also says that there are widespread reports of human rights violations taking place in those centres.
At least 40 people are feared dead or missing after a boat carrying migrants capsized off the Libyan coast. The United Nations Refugee Agency says 60. The UNHCR reports for the last 5 years, more than 1,000 people have died at sea every year.
They had desperately hoped to escape this land. Instead, they're back on it. Within an hour of setting sail, these migrants from Eastern and Northern Africa say their small and overcrowded ships started to sink. Some survivors treaded water for 7 hours before they were rescued.
No one can rescue us. We rescued ourselves.
Sabah Youssef lost her 7-year-old son at sea. She says there's been a global failure to help families like hers. More than 37,500 migrants have entered Europe by sea so far this year. Those killed were travelling from Libya. And while that's down from recent years, the UN says that particular voyage is becoming even more dangerous. It reports 1 in 4 people are perishing at sea before reaching Europe.
If current trends continue, we're likely to see more than 1,000 people lose their life on the Mediterranean for the 6th year in a row.
The UN fears these survivors will be jailed and kept in inhumane conditions like other migrants in Libya. And there are other dangers. Earlier this month, an airstrike in Tripoli killed more than 50 migrants in a detention centre.
There's an urgent need now, first of all, to secure the release of people from inside the detention centres in Libya, but also to boost the search and rescue capacity.
In May, the European Union suspended all rescue missions in the Mediterranean to deter people from making the journey. But the UN says until that's overturned, more lives will be lost in this peak summer period and in greater numbers. Omar Dabaj, SBS World News.